kuna bishop ali kuna bishop alichukua fielder bana. Akaambiwa wewe weka 500 hapa, fielder sijui ni 1.5. Hiyo 1 million ingine hata waumini hawangechanga sadaka wasaidie mchungaji ku So they came and took the car. Now the bishop had just to start praying about it, but the car had gone. Muhindi had gone with their car. So please don't take the bait. Be patient. So buying a car in Kenya is actually a tall order. For you to buy a car successfully in Kenya is either if you take the shortest time to buy a car, you're going to end up with a bad car, or you're going to be scammed. And that is now why you must be very careful. So many a times you've thought about people who really scam people in the Kenyan car industry are these bad guys, the scammers, people who are online, they post cars and they don't get to you the cars, you pay the money. But did you know that even car yards and dealerships in Kenya today, especially in Nairobi and Mombasa, can equally scam you? They won't scam you illegally. They will scam you legally because these are businesses. So if you didn't know, businesses can actually scam you. In this video, we'll be talking about how these car yards and dealerships, or even an individual selling their car in Kenya, can scam you. And this is something that you need to understand, guys. So, but before we continue, in this channel we don't sugarcoat, because we are also in business. We are not saying we are the most honest, but at least if you are in business, do something that can actually benefit the consumer. Now, before we continue, please like the video so that other people can get to watch this video. Now, number one, if you're going to buy your car from Mombasa or Nairobi, one aspect of scamming that the dealer is going to give you, to do to you, is what we call changing the mileage. You know, people are so naive, buyers are so naive, because not everybody has interest in cars and not everybody is in this industry rather. That is why we are here to inform you. So how do they tamper with the mileage? You know, every car that is imported into Kenya, exported to Kenya from Japan or wherever country it is coming from, the law is very clear. They require the car to be inspected from the country of origin. So when the car has been inspected, they give the COR, that is the certificate of roadworthiness, or you call it maybe certificate of inspection, that being issued by a body that is been appointed by the Kenya Bureau of Standards in Japan, and that body is called QSJ. If you go online, you can find QSJ online. So QSJ inspects the car, then they certify the roadworthiness of this particular car before it leaves Japan. You know, Japan also has their standards. So if the car is not worthy leaving the country, it can be destroyed. But what happens when the car gets to Mombasa? Even before the car gets to the Mombasa port, crooked dealers are likely to scam you like this. You see, they tamper with the mileage. And when they tamper with the mileage, as a buyer, what is your responsibility? Your responsibility is to check whether the car that you're buying has the mileage that is on the odometer. Ukienda kwa gauge hapo ukaangalia, uone ni hiyo mileage. Go an extra mile. I've done a video on how you can check mileage. Just go to QSJ, key in the chassis number. If you don't get that particular chassis on the database of QSJ, just know that something has gone wrong. Because normally, there used to be 2 firms which used to do inspection. Actually 3. There was Auto Terminal Japan, there's the East African something, and then the main one is the QSJ. But is it really bad to buy a car of high mileage? Why am I calling it a scam? I'm calling it a scam because the higher the mileage, usually the cheaper the car. So you come to Mombasa or you go to Nairobi, you're buying a car that has done 180,000 kilometers. Then this guy or this dealer sells to you this car because they have changed the mileage to 57,000. So now the car would cost you the same price as the car that would originally be having that mileage of 53 or 57,000. That is scamming. That is kuibia mtu. Unamuibia because at the end of the day, that car is not worth that money. Even in Japan, we import cars for people. The higher the mileage, the cheaper the car. But again, as a buyer, you need to be very, 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 very exact with this, because remember, the higher the mileage, the lesser the lifespan of this car. Especially if the owner who was using this car in Japan or anywhere else was not so good in maintenance. Some parts have not been replaced. So unanunua gari hivi, kesho uko garage, kesho imekata timing belt, kesho a lot of stuff going on. So that is number one. I hope we are together. And did you know that actually the buyer has a right kushtaki the dealer who is selling to you this car, so that they can be slapped with an invoice, fine invoice of about 1 million. Cabs can actually go to the dealer. No, the problem with our country is that if I find that the dealer has changed mileage, then as a buyer, I approach the dealer. Instead of approaching the authority now, after approaching the authority, they come to the dealer, they tell him, you know, your showroom here, they have said you're changing mileage and this is the case. So what do you have to say for it? They take something small, then now that case is there. Now you are the buyer, nobody will help you. But I think the power of the buyer is with them before they pay for the car. So before you pay for the car, please do not assume the aspect of mileage. More so, right now, listen to me. When you're going to buy a hybrid car, please take your time. This is a long video, but before we continue, please like the video so that other people can also get to watch this video. You know, there's that information that you won't get on the internet, and I'm putting it here for you just to help you also get something for yourself. If you go to Google, this information is not there. Number 2, how you're likely to be scammed. Dealers are making a lot of money through what we call logbook. And this is something that you really need to understand. There's a circumstance whereby you bought a car from the dealer. Then now they tell you now, we are not transferring the logbook. Labda umenunua hii gari kwa hire purchase, kwa wale ambao wanachukua kwa deni. Maybe umenunua gari na hiyo time, actually the system for NTSA, for logbook transfer is not working. So our dealers likely to milk more money from you through logbook system. You know, the charges for doing logbook transfer are well stipulated in the NTSA article. Like you can get it, like within the CC of the car, 1,000 to 1,500, this is how much you should pay. Dealers would scam you by actually holding your logbook. I have seen this happen, and many people have told me, Ruthless Focus, this is something that is happening and we need to talk about it. They will hold your logbook, then, you know, you as the buyer, once you've paid, you've transferred your powers. Hata ukipiga kelele, atakwambia kuja kesho, then from there, they don't really want to give you the logbook. Why? Because they want you to pay. And I've seen guys even in Mombasa, there is no logbook that costs about 10,000 or 15,000 to transfer. Suppose you paid fully for the car, why is the dealer not transferring the logbook according to the charges in the NTSA? What is so hard? What are they going to use to make the charges to 10,000 or 6,000? So be very careful, because there's that excitement when you're buying a car. Do your part. Before you walk with this car out of the dealership, make sure that the paperwork, if there's something pending, finish. Then you can drive your car in peace. I've seen people who have been scammed out of that logbook, because there's a dealer who's selling 100 cars per month. 100 cars. They are there. I don't want to say who's that. They're selling this 100 cars. Now you can imagine, if you sell 100 cars, maybe you sell 60 of them on credit. And 60 cars, each logbook, you are doing around 6,000. And the logbook maybe charges are 2,500. Can you do the maths? Be careful. Number 3, how you're likely to be scammed when you're buying your car from these guys is what we call accessories. Like, how can I put it? When the car is too good. You know, I was asking some lady, why did you buy the car? Then they were like, I loved the fog lights, I loved the interior, I loved these DRLs, I loved. So the buyer, that is you, I'm talking to you. You have a responsibility to actually do this. Close your eyes. I know, hata wanasema kwa Kiswahili, uzuri wa mwanamke si urembo, ni tabia. But as the buyer who is going to buy a car in Mombasa or Nairobi, these things like fog lights, alloy wheels, that is secondary. I know this is what people see first. The primary thing that you should be actually looking at when you're buying your car, before you pay, remember, before you pay, because immediately you pay, the dealers will even start ignoring you. You will no longer be that girl that they're looking after, they're chasing. So remember, don't really give attention. Okay, it is good for them to have fog lights and stuff. Dealers will scam you by selling you a bad car and washing the engine, putting the fog lights, roof rails, doing sijui what. Ukienda huko ndani, the dashboard has been sprayed. They have repainted the car so good, but what is under this particular thing. Unafika Mtito Andei, gari haipiti 20 km/h. Unafika pale, imemwaga gearbox. We've seen people who bought Audis in Mombasa or any other person. Unafika Voi, gari inachemka kama kitu ingine. What am I saying? The exterior appearance of the car is very important, but it's not the primary focus when you're buying your car in Kenya. Look beyond, go with the mechanic. And you know, Kenyans, we are just a people of our own kind. Unaambia mtu, unataka kununua hii gari maybe 2.3 million or 2.5 million. Before you put that 2.5 million, tenga tu hata 20,000, hata kama ni 30. Do your due diligence, pay people like us. You check for you the car. Mtu ukisha gongo, yani umeweka 2.5 million somewhere, then unanitafuta sasa unaniambia ruthless focus. Mazee bana, kuna nimelipia hapa, lakini unajua hawa jamaa ni wazuri. Now this car, can it really serve me well? You don't do research after buying a car. You do your research before buying the car. Number 3, how you are likely to be scammed. When you're going to buy your car in Kenya, there's something called the number plate issue. And dealers use this to really scam you a lot of money. I know this is a very uncomfortable video because they will come after me. I know I've done quite a number of videos and I get phone calls. So why are you doing this? Why are you exposing? But we need to sanitize. We need to bring some order in this industry because it's the right thing to do. People work so hard to buy their cars, bana. You work so hard to buy their cars. People work so hard. So the other point is that dealers would scam you. What was the point? Actually, I'm forgetting. There's this point. Yes. So dealers will scam you by the number plate aspect. You know, as a buyer, when you want to own your first car or the second car, mostly the first car owners, young, I'm talking to the young people, you are so excited about this mabati here. You see this thing? This is just a mabati. Somebody has the same car, who even bought it before maybe I got it in Kenya. They even have a newer car than me and a better car than this one, but the number plate is not this one. So the madness of the number plate is capitalized on by the dealers actually to scam you. And they are scamming you not because, it is because you are susceptible, you're so vulnerable to that number plate system. So a dealer will tell you, no, this is KDK, so what? Do not look at that from that point of view. If it is KDK, this is not connected to the engine. It's just a mabati. It's not really connected to the engine. So you need to understand that. Let a dealer not scam you a lot of money because sahi KDK ishapita, tuko KDL. So atakwambia, you know, this is a KDL, so it's a new number. So it doesn't cost a cent more to register a new number plate as compared to any other number plate. So there's no way you're going to pay 200,000 extra because there's a KDK, there's a KDL because of this number plate. So what should you do? Your cardinal principle should be, look at the condition of the car, not this mabati. I think we are together. Look at the condition of the car, not the mabati. Dealers will scam you on that. Another way they're gonna scam you and manipulate you, they're gonna tell you that, I think this is the most funniest thing though. Ati hii gari, the car that you're looking for, imebaki tu hiyo moja. Yeah, there's only one. So you ask yourself, kwani hata in production line, did they just make one car and that one car is that particular dealer into? A dealer can really scam you very fast by just telling you, you know what, take this car and there's a person who is looking after this car, like kuna mtu ametoka tu hapa sahi, be smart. So they can manipulate you and they sell to you a bad car. You know, what we are trying to do here, we are not saying that we don't have honest dealerships. There are very many honest dealerships, people who do legit business, people who really appreciate that the money that you are coming to pay at their dealership is the money that you really worked for some time and you really saved to come and get your car, not to sell to you a bad car. Are you getting that? Another way you're likely to be scammed in the Kenyan car industry right now, There are these guys who do, especially this may not be a dealership, but there are these guys who do what we call car restoration. Very nice, very nice. Doing car restoration. Restoration is whereby you take your long time Nissan Sunny huko, unaenda unaiamsha, then unaipaka rangi, una swap the engine, unaeka, then that scamming is a scamming that is going on in Kenya right away. People do restoration, some of them just want to look cool. People love vintage cars, people love classic cars. But before somebody gives you a quotation for restoration of cars, please do your research, because I've seen so many Kenyans, mtu alipewa quotation, leo anakupatia dirisha, kesho anakupatia ya rangi, sijui ya engine, then it dawns on you that the project the project is not really being finished. So it is like those greenhouses, those scams of sijui what, weka hii pesa hapa, then you're looking for the car is not there. Are you looking at that? So I think it is upon you, the buyer, to actually interrogate and do your own research to find out whether is it really wise to just buy a car from the dealership. Am I going to buy a restored car? What is so important, what is so urgent for me, and what would save you money? Always not about saving money, but also about buying a good car. On this video, we're looking at how can you buy a good car without being scammed, and not being scammed by those underhand means, being scammed in a broad daylight with your own permission. That's what we are talking about, rather. So another way you are likely to be scammed, by the way, I've seen this happening in Mombasa a lot. And this is not a good thing though. You know, we have hybrid cars, and hybrid cars are good cars, sikatai. But there's a trend, because these dealers, when they go to Japan, they just buy high mileage hybrid cars because they are cheaper. Remember, we talked about mileage tampering, but we are talking about specifically hybrid cars. They go and import. I've seen 264,000 kilometers of hybrid cars. Mtu anafika huko Kisii, gari anachapo nayo 2 months, ashaanza ku. Now you see with the Toyota technology, especially the hybrid, the car won't even start kama ile betri yako ndogo imekufa. But achana hiyo betri ndogo, sasa kuna the main hybrid high voltage battery that sits in the filter axle. My friend, dealers will scam you, and when they want to scam you for the hybrids, they always sell competitively. And I know quite a number of dealerships that scam people because of these hybrid cars. So if you are going to do our hybrid, Honda Fit hybrid, please try. If you have the money, pay the price. Buy a car that is below 100 kilometers. You'll love it. You'll get good fuel economy, and your life will be easy. Another way you are likely to be scammed when you're buying your car in Kenya through the dealers is what we call bait. They give you a bait. Like a bait is like ukiekea samaki. If you're fishing, people who have fished, naeka bait, then nakula na inashika hapa, no? Unatoa samaki. So dealers give you baits in Kenya, and by this I mean that, you know, hakuna mtu anataka kutembea mguu bwana. Tumechoka. Hata wewe kila matatu nini, but there's nobody will beat you kama unatumia matatu, so tumia tu. But dealers give you bait. Ushatengeza kama 300 yako, 400, 500,000 somewhere. So these dealers come and give you a bait. They put it, oh, just come with 500,000. I'll give you a car for 1.9 million. Balance yako ni 1.4. So when these dealers give you a bait, you take the bait. And when you take the bait, you pay the deposit. When you pay the deposit, you become broke. And when you become broke, they come for their car. When they come for their car, they resell their car. And when they resell their car, you've lost your money. And when you've lost your money, you're into depression. And when you're in depression, you die because of a car. So that is it, by the way. I'll tell you for free. So it's not bad to buy a car on hire purchase. I've told you that quite a number of times. But don't go for a deal that is too good. Why do you buy a scarcity 2.4 na yeye anachukua deposit ya 500,000? Utamanage, kwani utalipa pesa ngapi per month? Ama wewe unafanya kwa hizi nini za una print pesa huko Delaru? I think that is something that you need to make peace with. This one actually bites both sides, both the young and the old. Kuna hata watumishi wa Mungu ambao wanachukua gari na kuna bishop ali kuna bishop alichukua fielder bana. Akaambiwa wewe weka 500 hapa, fielder sijui ni 1.5. Hiyo 1 million nyingine hata waumini hawangechanga sadaka wasaidie mchungaji ku So they came and took the car. Now the bishop had just to start praying about it, but the car had gone. Muhindi had gone with their car. So please don't take the bait. Be patient. As we conclude the video, there are so much and many more things that we need to talk about in this industry. And by the way, those are just but the tip of iceberg. So in the next video, we'll be coming with some of the trends that it's now being used to scam you now with everybody, not only the dealers, but the scammers, what they are really. We'll tell you about the websites which have been built to scam you. You go there, you put your money, you click. So guys, I think those are some of the ways that you're likely to be scammed in the car dealership, and we've left quite a number of them. But as we go, please just like the video so that other people can also get to watch this video. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.